Привет всем! Today we're going to read the first part of a poem by Debra Haikina. She was a Ukrainian citizen and she wrote in Yiddish, but her poems have been translated into Ukrainian and also into Russian. She has a poem that begins "Ходит наша бабушка," which we're going to read today. The entire poem, which is 36 lines, is one stanza. Today we're reading the first 8 lines. Ходит наша бабушка, палочкой стуча. Говорю я бабушке, вызови врача. Выпьешь ты лекарство, будешь ты здорова. Если будет горько, ну что же здесь такого? So these are the first 8 lines of this poem, and we're going to back it up to just the first 4 and go through those. So listen to them one more time. Ходит наша бабушка, палочкой стуча. Говорю я бабушке, вызови врача. Let's narrow it down further to just the first line. Ходит наша бабушка. So looking at this sentence, we can break it apart in this way. You see a noun phrase and you see a verb. Ходит means to walk regularly every day or to walk aimlessly. It's conjugated. It doesn't have its soft sign at the end, the myaky znak. If you've studied verb conjugations, you'll know that it's conjugated for a third person singular, for a he or a she. The nominative, this subject that follows the verb, is naша бабушка. Nasha is in the nominative singular and it's feminine and it means our. Babushka is a word you're probably familiar with, meaning grandmother. So naша бабушка, our grandmother. Ходит is walking. Ходит наша бабушка, our grandmother is walking. Палочкой стуча. A palka is a stick. A palochka, in this sense, it's still a stick, but you can think of it like a walking stick. And it's in the instrumental because the a at the end has been changed to oi. So with her walking stick, stucha is a participle, meaning that she is knocking or hitting the ground. So our grandmother is walking, hitting the ground with her walking stick. Говорю я бабушке. Говорю is conjugated for ya, which is the pronoun found right after it in the nominative. Я is the subject of the sentence. Говорю is the conjugated form for говорить, meaning to talk or to say. Бабушке is babushka from above, but in the dative case, meaning to my grandmother. So I say to grandmother. Говорю я бабушке, вызови врача. If you break apart this verb and look at the prefix, вы has a connotation of out or exit. Zavi is the imperative from zvat, which is a verb meaning to call. So to call out or to summon, vracha, the doctor. Vracha is in genitive singular. Usually in nominative, the word for doctor is vrach, but we've added an a. So it is also the direct object. So call the doctor. Let's look again at the next 4 lines together before we go through them step by step. Выпьешь ты лекарство, будешь ты здорова. Если будешь горько, ну что же здесь такого? So the first line, выпьешь ты лекарство. Ты is the subject of the sentence, meaning you, familiar, and she's talking to the grandmother, remember. Выпьешь is conjugated for ты in the future tense. Pit is the imperfective verb for to drink. Выпить is the perfective form. Выпьешь is the perfective form conjugated for ты. So you will drink лекарство, medicine. In English, we take a pill or an aspirin, but in Russian, we always drink the medicine. Even if it's not a liquid, the way that we describe what we're doing is we say that we're drinking it. The next line is "Будешь ты здорова." If you are in group 2, you've learned about будет, будешь, and all of those other conjugations while you were studying instrumental. If not, it is the imperfective future, meaning you will be every day or you will be regularly. Ты будешь is you informal, will be. Здорова is a short adjective for healthy. The next line is Если будет горько. Если means if. Будет is again the imperfective future, as is будешь in the line above. Горько is a short neutral adjective for bitter. If it is bitter, and the unnamed it in this sentence is лекарство from above, which would end in an O if it were singular, but because it's neutral and the neutral adjectives end in an A instead of an I or an E as you're used to. So if the medicine is bitter, если будет горько. The next line is going to be a little bit harder to understand because it includes a lot of these very small Russian words that have so many meanings. The next line is Ну что ж здесь такого? So before we talk about what this means, let's run down the line and translate what each of these things are. Nu is the Russian word for well, not as in I am doing well, but as in well, it might rain. Что is what. Je is called an emphatic particle, meaning that you can throw it in after any word that you want to put extra emphasis on. Здесь means here, and такого is the genitive singular of такой, meaning such. The difficult thing to understand is that this sort of genitive singular construction with такого just kind of means that or it in general. So the whole line is made up of a lot of different bits and pieces, but when taken together, it kind of means, well, what's the problem? Or there is no problem. Ну что же здесь такого? What is it to that? As in, even if the medicine is bitter, what's wrong with that? You'll still take it and you'll be better. So let's read through these last 4 lines before we go through everything once again. Выпьешь ты лекарство, будешь ты здорова, если будет горько, ну что ж здесь такого? So you will take medicine, you will be healthy, even if it's bitter. What's wrong with that? So now let's read through all 8 lines. Ходит наша бабушка, палочкой стуча. Говорю я бабушке, вызови врача. Выпьешь ты лекарство, будешь ты здорова. Если будет горько, ну что ж здесь такого? So in our next segment, we will cover lines 9 through 16. Then we will have another video for lines 17 through 24, and then 25 all the way down through 36. That'll be a longer one. Until next time, до свидания.